Nissa. And I'm kind of excited about this deck because Nissa's original Planeswalker card was this one that could... Its mega ability was summoning every elf in your deck, or as many elves as you wanted. And elves just have this amazing synergy. They play so well together. So much so that one of my friends ran an elf deck that I built to, strangely enough, a vampire deck specifically to counter. So I am just really excited to get into this storyline. That's not an elf, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We got a couple other elves in there. Nissa's chosen. Of course, starting off with the Goldraz Vampire. Not as good early game, but if you can get your opponent down to 10 quickly, it is a wonderful card. Guess we'll play this not elf, since we didn't draw another elf. An immortal vampire. No, wait. Mortal elf. An elf vampire would be fun, though. Would totally run that deck. Aha! Bloodline Invoker. Another wonderful card. Because if you're facing down a wall of elves, you can just go after their life points directly. Get rid of that card before it has a chance to do any damage. Didn't take the bait. Oh well. Next turn, vampires, next turn. With this Coldblade, I don't think that's one I ever got to play with. Either that or they changed the animation on it. Feast of Blood, though. I ran 2 or 3 of those. My friend had an elf card that got powered up by each elf on the field, and a couple of elf cards that generated elf tokens, so you had to get rid of either the token maker or the one powered up by elves if you wanted to have any. Gain more land, power up a creature, or just play more elves. And generally, when it comes to elves, the answer is always to play more elves. Bring out another Invoker. It's alright, still got this. More trees! Though about the only problem we may run into fighting said vampires is they are really good at gaining life. It's a bit of a war of attrition. So this could be a long one, especially since I seem to be drawing mostly trees, and cards that draw more trees. Doomblade, classic black card. That's not an elf. Wait. Maybe it's just to pad it out and they're gonna introduce the elves later. Child of Night. Card so fabulous that I think it stuck around for the next, like, 4 sets. And another nut elf. But we already saw one of those, so... maybe they're just keeping the Elven Synergy to a minimum. Okay, there is a disgusting amount of forests in this deck. Now, I understand the reasoning behind it. The cards that get powered up by forests get powered up even more when you're running more forests, and you will draw them consistently, but I've ran decks that have the deal X damage cards, where X is the amount of land you paid, and cards like Nightmare that get powered up for each swamp, and I still didn't run more than like 10 at most, because unless you're going up against a very specific deck, there is almost no reason that you need a 36-36 on the field. Or if you need to hit more than once with a 12-12, you are in a serious losing position. And you know, maybe you can argue that you're hoping your opponent will throw all of their creatures at it, but still, I'd rather have more creatures than more land. Another Goldraz. Luckily, we've been keeping our pulse tracker. It's a fun one, especially in multi-games. That is... Elf Shaman. Wouldn't be one of my first picks. I mean, buffing up a creature is fine and all, but I don't know. Basically, it's dependent on having another creature on the field, and well, that's... I know what lifelink is. Yeah, I originally started out clicking yes to all of the skill quests, but they were always very, very mindless. Very... another Child of Night. And this deck seriously needs some sort of, like, card draw or something. Jump blockers with lifelink. They prevent the damage and they reduce some of it. Not reduce. They block the damage and they gain life. Another Nissa's chosen. Suppose if it does go to the bottom of the deck, and we did shuffle the deck, it would be shuffled to the top. But if you see how many forests are left, the last time I played the pick forest from your deck, I'm pretty sure like half to 3/4 of the deck there is land when you really don't need that much land. And another of the mildly interesting, but significantly less interesting than most of the other elves I can think of, Elf Shaman. Slowly, we will force them to jump block with their entire field. But I can't quite go all in as I would really like to, because there's a chance they just let the attack go through and then gain a large chunk of it back by just attacking en masse. Only 2 vampires remain. And now he's refilling. I am both enthralled by and disappointed in my opponent's vampire deck. On the one hand, vampires are another really cool tribe. On the other hand, they are playing the more boring side of Zendenkar's stuff. Now, unless they can somehow draw and play a ridiculous amount of elves this turn, nope. See, that's what happens when you play 15 to 20 forest in your deck, or swamps, or whatever land, because it is just like, I draw a forest, I play a forest, I have an empty field, because I had to sacrifice everything. Oops. Come on, you're playing a black deck. There's like tons of draw cards. I know you wouldn't necessarily want to sacrifice your life this time around, but there are other ways to get vampires on the field. Rip Vampire Stalkers. Well, we didn't get to see much in the way of Elven Synergy, but I am hopeful for the next game. Poor vampire, stop picking on him, Nissa. He's just trying to live. And clearly they don't sparkle, which is certainly a plus. Well, let's see you in the next game when we maybe finally get to see some of that fantastic elf synergy I've been waiting for.